the 90s, Playmates Toys made the deepest line of Star Trek action figures in history. My name's Keith, and I'm a collector working towards owning all 284. I've been a Trek fan for almost 35 years, and most people are sick of me talking about it. But somehow I've convinced my old friend Mike to review them with me on Look at My Star Trek Toys! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Look at My Star Trek Toys. I'm Keith, that's Mike. We are going to talk today about Playmates 4.5-inch figures of the Borg.
The Borgatorium grows.
It's the Borgatorium. Borg. It's going to be fun. We're back in our classic show. We're showing the actual figures. This is going to be fun
a while.
from my collection. It's been a while.
Yeah. Nice to be home. Well, always feels good to come
home. We're running out.
Yeah.
So
slow play.
I'm slow playing the rest of the figures, but we have some really fun stuff to talk about today. But Mike, I think before we do that, we should talk about who is supporting us
Keith,
these days.
I couldn't agree anymore. I'm going to talk about that. I didn't include them.
Oh, no. Mike has not prepped, but that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't mean that you can't go to patreon.com/K&M and find them yourself, as well as a whole mess of fun bonus content, bonus unboxings of toys. You can watch Mike watch Deep Space Nine. We have other reviews of Star Trek shows, as well as a monthly AMA, gameplay alongs, and who the heck else knows what's going to show up on there. Mike, who's viewing that?
It's Brian Kaufman, Casey Clark, Jay Moe, Andrew Hayes, Jorge Navoa, and the mysterious Worf's Big Ol' Boot Shiv, CRM Productions, Charles Babbage, Nikolay Ivanovich Lobachevsky at Grim_those toys, and Delusions at 12 p.m. We thank them. Join the team, patreon.com/K&M.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, before we hop into the Toy Gam, we have to give a thank you to the site that I use as my reference guide and resources, as well as steal all those pictures of the figures in box. And that is, of course, Wixaban.com, who has done an extraordinary job creating an archive of all of the Star Trek toys, comics, card games, trading cards. It's all there. What an incredible resource here, Wixaban.com.
Thank you so much. We call that attribution so that Keith doesn't get Wixabanned.
Don't Wixa-sue me, please. All right. So let us begin. We're all Borg. It's all Borg all the time here today. And we're going to begin with the Series 2 Borg figure from Star Trek The Next Generation. Let's take a look at it.
Ooh.
This is figure number 6077. It's an amazing sculpt of a kick-ass, scary Borg.
Oh, they're all going to be awesome, aren't they?
They're all going to be awesome. However, I'm not even gonna say what it is yet, but we're gonna find out how long it takes Mike to notice something about all of this Borg. This is from Series 2 of the Next Generation figures, which actually was they did a Borg in Series 1 as well. So back-to-back series, they put out a Borg, which makes perfect sense because there's never just one, right? It's like it's like Lay's. You can't just eat just one. So you're gonna need a whole mess of
Isn't
Borg.
that Pringles? Once you pop, you can't stop. Did you confuse all the chips, Keith?
No, I created a bastardized amalgamation of chips because Lay's is bet you can't eat just one. Pringles is once you pop, you can't stop. So
and Ruffles have fridges.
Clearly, I'm someone who eats a lot of chips. So
now, could you change their hand contraption, or is that static?
Yes, they do come with a couple of different Borg hands. And then, actually, you know what? Let's take a look at the box, and you can see what it came with. Here it is. So it did come with a couple of other hands, couple of other options, and of course, the Skybox card to come with it. Very important. And so this is the one that has the red eye.
Okay.
And the more gray body exterior. So Yeah, really fun. If you missed it, there's a huge unboxing that I do deep back in the feed of like 300 figures, and this person was a collector of the Borg, and they had a whole mess of Borg figures there to play with, most of which is where I got these figures. So Mike, any thoughts more on this figure?
For a collective that shares a lot of information and duties and such, Keith, I find it really cool that each of them individually finds time not to skip ab day. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. I think crunches are a big part of what they do on the cube. Yeah, for sure. I think I've been ruled out as a Borg. I think I'm immune, right? So I'm not afraid of the Borg.
Somebody study Keith.
Like, resistance is futile. Resistance is, we're good. Resistance is futile. I think that's
Oh man, just a subtle ribbing. All right, where are we going now? Where are we going?
So I think we should go to our next figure, and this is an Interstellar Borg, and this one does a pew pew.
Whoa, he shoots that little red thingy?
So you put the little gun thingy in there, and then it pew pews out of the giant hand there, and you'll also
gun thingy in the basket. Or it gets the Borg hose.
It gets the Borg hose. Yes, that's well. I mean, they do have a lot of hoses.
Yeah,
a lot of gaskets and such. But this is the Interstellar one. I believe it's from. Is it 4? Or is it, a better podcaster would have looked this up and told you exactly what line this is. But there it is. It's Interstellar. It's got blue and silvery details there. Mike, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same figure, right?
It's the same figure. And thus we get to the downside of all these amazing, cool-ass looking Borg figures, because Series 1 was Series 2, just more black than gray. Series 2 is more gray than black. This one is bluish, huey sort of a deal and does a little pew-pew, but it is the same sculpt once again. And so there, I mean, it's an amazing sculpt. Don't get me wrong.
It's cool.
But,
and I mean, it jives, right? Because it's not like you're getting, I mean, the Borg were sort of, the whole uniformity was the whole point, yeah? Well, not the whole point, but...
Sort of, and yet they were all different. So this is from Mixed Series Wave 2 in 1995, is when the Interstellar Action... this is when they were like, what if we made Geordi with a pew-pew? I mean, that sounds interesting, because that's in Geordi's character. It's not in Geordi's character. Yeah, also, they didn't have that sort of cool bluish thingy in real life. But nonetheless, I think it's a cool figure. I think it would look better in cinematic lighting than it would necessarily in, regular lighting. But it's still a really cool figure. And nice to have some variety there with the Borg. But I certainly wouldn't have minded if they had made a little bit more alterations to the sculpt, because it's just the same sculpt over and over again. Mike, any other thoughts?
No, Keith. Let's beam over to the next Borg.
All right. So our next Borg, hold on to your hat. Look out, Mike. It is the Twin Pack Borg.
Oh.
So Mike, this is where it gets.
The Borg stands are awesome. Are they? Is that their stands specifically?
Yeah, it is their stands, and that is the Borg logo. That we see, I believe in the season 7 of Next Gen. We see that when, but it might be Lore's making a Borg, whatever. So Mike, riddle me this.
Okay.
What makes this figure different from the other Borg figures?
Well, he's got a different contraption on his hand. He's got, to be honest, Keith, they've all sort of Borged together.
You have no idea, and I'll show you. I'm going to put this one right next to the Series 2, and you can see the only difference, really,
the paint
is, yes, obviously this is the more black than gray. This is much more like Series 1 Borg, but the only way you can tell, it's got a green eye and not a red eye. And that is what distinguishes this one and makes it a little bit rarer than the red-eye, mostly black Borg figure. Yeah, so this one is only available in the twin pack with the slightly altered Locutus. It's a little bit rare, but it's still the same sculpt. Once again, phenomenal sculpt.
Right.
Hands are too big, but it is, it's the same thing. But once they're all together, if you swap out the hands, right, and you can do a lot of customization once you swap the hands out and do all of that. So you can create more variety, and that's what happened in the giant lot that I bought. Is somebody bought a whole mess of Borg and did every possible different variation on their hands and accoutrement. But anyway, so this is one, if you saw our episode last week, you know that I have this one, but I do not have the Locutus. Bye, Jen. Have a good day at work.
No, she's coming home. She's just got back from an audition. She had an audition today.
Oh, hi, Jen. Hope the audition went well.
She got called back. Guess who didn't? This guy.
Oh, no.
Well, she did say they were all girls at the callback, so maybe they just haven't done boys yet.
Maybe you're offer only.
I have a funny story about that, actually. We'll talk off air.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, fair enough. I'm familiar with that dynamic for darn sure. Let's take a look at the box. So there it is in the twin pack with the Locutus variation.
Or as I like to call him, Locutie.
Low cutie. He's definitely a low cutie. So yeah, I mean, and this is the one Locutus that I don't have, but don't worry. We're gonna show the Locuti that I do. But this was the twin pack. I believe this was 1999 that they put out the twin pack with the Locutus. I'm gonna look it up, just for science, because this is very important. Yes, 1999. This was a Target exclusive here in the US, which is why it's a little bit harder to get your hands on. So you want to know what is not as difficult to get your hands on? That is the original OG Locutus.
Oh, yeah. Look at him, Locutie.
From TNG Series 2. Came out the same one as the first figure, this first series the first Borg we showed this episode was also from Series 2 of Next Gen. But here we do get a different sculpt for the Borg body, as well as a particular specific head sculpt for Locutus here. I love this figure.
Really cool. Picard, he hated being a Borg, but it did help his sleep apnea. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, slept good. He's finally got a chance to see all the abs Patrick Stewart is rocking. Patrick Stewart has always kept it tight.
Yeah,
he's that's why you're a sex symbol for 50 years when you're Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, I think Locutus is one of my favorite figures we've looked at, for sure.
It's really cool. I mean, it's also like it's a figure based on one of the most iconic and best episodes of Next Generation.
Jim, what do you think of this action
classic
figure? That's Captain Picard after he got Borged up.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, yeah, we saw that on.
Come on in.
Right?
Come on in.
Yeah, come on, Jen.
Hi guys. How's it going?
What's up, Jen?
Look at my Star Trek toys. Yeah.
Oh, you're getting a callback.
Thanks. You brought me some sandwich too. People love to listen to me eat.
Oh man, that's the best part. If it's not our incompetence, it's Mike eating that really makes the show the show.
How'd it go? Great.
It was fun. Yeah.
Good.
There it is. So sometimes life finds a way.
Yeah.
There it is. So yeah, cool. So Locutus is great, and I know what you're asking. Let's look at that box. Let's take a look at that box. What a great card that it comes with.
Yeah.
I mean, the Patrick Stewart's performance as Locutus is so great because he has so much life in his performance, even though he's very like staid and Shakespearean in his regular Picard, but like removing the emotional element that is this undercurrent of his performance as a human when he becomes Locutus. It's really creepy. And that's just a really, really good performance from Patrick Stewart. So now I know what you really want, Mike. What if there was a different Locutus, but shiny? Right here.
Yeah, that's the one, folks. Mike loves a brushed chrome. Come on, baby.
With the holodeck Locutus with his shiny armor. Yeah, I mean, does it make any sense? No.
But neither did the Worf one.
Did either he or Worf ever have this weird shiny uniform? Hell no. Is it a really cool figure because of the chromy look?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it is. Similar to the other Borg, it is the same sculpt, reused from the other figure, just given a little bit of a splash of chrome for his panties there. But it looks really, really cool. Obviously had different hand figures, and it came with different options as well if you wanted to swap his hands out for different Borgy things going on there. It doesn't make a great deal of sense in canon, but it looks great on the bookshelf, and that it's what it's here for. So slight variation. I feel like I would have preferred a different stage in his Borgification as opposed to a chromified version. It looks cool, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But in Best of Both Worlds, we see him going through sort of transitions of a little bit more Borg, a little bit less Borg. The first time we see him, he doesn't have the chest plate or the armor there. I think I probably would have preferred a half Borg Picard to this. But nonetheless, it's still pretty cool. The Holodeck series that Playmates did, and this is from Series 4 in 1995, it don't make a heck of a lot of sense. But it's still a really cool figure. Any other thoughts, Mike?
No, I mean, I don't care if it makes sense at all. That's cool. I kind of want it. It goes, I mean, he does look like he's wearing a unitard now because it goes right up his right where the good Lord split him, but we'll take it.
It's a singlet. He's wearing a wrestling singlet. Yeah, there it is. But anyway, cool figure. Very much very enjoyable. The Borg part of the bookshelf always looks badass. It always looks imposing and cool. I need to get my hands on the Playmates Borg cube.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because they did two. They did the cube, and they also did the orb version, the circular version from First Contact. So I definitely want to get my hands on both of those. We should do another episode on the ships and props that I don't have.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be fun. So anyway, so that's this episode.
That thing is awesome.
Yeah, right? Come on, how cool is that?
I mean, that's freaking rad.
You put that on your shelf with all the Borg around it.
Wow.
It's going to look good.
Yeah,
it's going to look good. So it's someday it will be mine. And I'm already out of bookshelf space, but I don't know what I'm going to do, but it doesn't matter. That's a good problem to have. So speaking of problems to have, a subscription to our show, you can join and and subscribe by hitting the button on the corner there. You can join our Patreon at patreon.com/KNM and get a whole bunch more of our nonsense. And we'll see you back here with another episode of Look at My Star Trek Toys. You can check out Keith and Mike Watch Deep Space Nine, K&M Geekly. We're playing that Star Trek show. I don't know. Lots of fun stuff. But till then, this has been Look at My Star Trek Toys.